the fantastic independent bookseller who has come from downtown to sell my book today. Yeah, so for those of you who believe in supporting small businesses, small business out there. She came out today and she looked at my business card and it says, J. Kelly Hoey, author. And she sort of smiled and she said, well, that's rather clear what you do. I said, I've got one thing to do right now. So for the entrepreneurs in the room, my piece of advice is, if you're an entrepreneur or startup founder and you're pursuing something, that's the only thing you are doing right now. Pursue it relentlessly. Pursue it with all your passion. If you're trying to do 16 things, I'm a blogger, I'm a speaker, I'm a startup founder, I put my VC hat back on, because yes, I'm an investor as well. That to me says to me that you're a hobbyist and you're not pursuing the one thing that you should be pursuing. Decide in life what you're going to be and pursue that with a single-minded focus. Yes, I think in life we're going to have a bunch of different jobs and a bunch of different opportunities, but if right now you have one thing that is driving you and that's what you want to pursue it and put everything you have behind it. Every piece of your networking, every piece of that arsenal, put that behind what you want to ultimately achieve. All right, we got 6 minutes. And we got a book to give away. I think we should just do questions and we'll see, maybe we'll take a vote on the best question, or we can, whatever we want to do.
That's a good way to do it. Does anybody have any questions? Or a single question? It's always on the other side.
Oh, so I'm going to give one piece of really practical networking advice. Not that there's not a lot of practical good networking advice in the book, but people always want like, hey Kelly, how do I work a room? Hey Kelly, how do I whatever? Which for me, I'll be honest, I think is a lot of the bullshit networking advice. So, but here's the one really good tip on networking. This is the one-time Q&A session at a conference where you need your elevator pitch. You never need your elevator pitch in an elevator. As an investor, I'm going to tell you right now, I do not want your elevator pitch in an elevator. I don't want it at a cocktail party. This is what I want it. So, whoever's asking the question, and please do ask the question, this is not to scare anyone. This is the most effective way to network this room. Say who you are, what you're doing, ask your question. Because you've now networked yourself with the entire room. Go.
Oh, courage. I love it. There you go.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a fourth-year commerce student, and I'm looking to start my career. So my question for you is, how do you get over the fear of networking, and how do you determine which networks, I guess, where you should be putting all of your energy into and which ones you should kind of put aside?
Great question. Thank you, and thank you for letting me tell you how to ask the question. So networking for me, and I think the reason why people get really anxious on it is you say the word, and let's all confess, we all went to that place of it's a cocktail party and handing out business cards and it's schmoozing, and I feel like really dirty thinking about it. We all thought that, right? Okay? There's networking as a tactic. There's networking as a mindset. There's networking as a starting point. Most networking advice for me starts at this place that tells you how to work the room, and it focuses on a tactic. Or it tells you things like 10 things you can do on Monday morning to be a better networker. Okay, you just saw how I wanted to vomit saying that, okay? I don't want you to worry about the tactics. That's your third thing I want you to think about. I want you to focus on a mindset. How am I the person that other people want to talk to? And when you think about networking, I want you to go to this place. I want you to go to, where am I headed? What's my goal? I'm looking for a job. I would say to you, what kind of job? Any job? Do you want to network with people who are cashiers at Shoppers Drug Mart? Like, be specific. And then you say to yourself, who are the people who can help me? Where do they hang out? Which associations? What clubs? What groups? What meetups? What Facebook groups? Are they online, offline? Are they both? Now, where's my best way to communicate with them? Is it an email? Is it a tweet? Is it a snap? Mark Suster is a fantastic investor in VC based out of LA. These days, if you want to communicate with him, I'd get over on Snapchat, frankly. That's where he shares a lot of his ideas. Part of this is an individual activity, and part of this is critical thinking and problem solving. And instead of worrying about how am I going to work that room and which groups, go back to where I'm headed so you can start to problem solve and think critically about which are the groups, and so that you can actually ask other people, please tell me about the finance club, or please tell me about this meetup that is people who are in, consulting. You seem to go to it. Tell me about it, so that you can understand if it's a place for you to go and meet the people who can help you achieve what you want to achieve. Does that help?
All right, question number 2.
Hello, my name is Hussein, and I just do me, but I was wondering...
You do you, babe, and I'll do me. I like it.
I was wondering, so I just saw that you have a presence on Twitter. So instead of asking what you should tweet about or what you should talk about in social networks, what shouldn't you post, or what shouldn't you talk about or share to anyone?
Yeah. That's, as one of my friends and authors said, why isn't there the books, the things we shouldn't tweet? I mean, where's Dr. Seuss when we need him? That could be a really great new book. So this is the way I think about social media. I think of them as physical spaces of where we interact with other people. And as far as I'm concerned right now, we're probably sitting in LinkedIn. We're all pretty quiet. We're taking in some information. We're sitting up straight. We're looking for some insights on careers and jobs. What would you share in this room, and how would you share it? And that's the way I think of LinkedIn. That's, I go back to the place of my career as a lawyer. That's a business suit and a briefcase, and where do I talk about professional topics? If anyone follows me on Instagram, you know I've got a bit of a shoe obsession, but you're not going to know that on LinkedIn. I may share publicity or an event achievement that I have with my career right now on LinkedIn, but how I share it with my professional colleagues, if I share the same information on Facebook for me is friends and family, how I share it with them is slightly different. The tone is going to be different even if it's the same information. And then, my drug of choice is Twitter, and that for me is a cocktail party. How are you a good guest? Listen, every once in a while, all of us are in a bar and someone comes screaming in at the top of their lungs, and we're all like, who the fuck are you? Right? Same thing happens on Twitter. And you find, how am I a good guest that someone wants to invite me into a conversation? And I put it back to you, as I said before, what do you want to be found for? I don't want to be found for the fact that I was an attorney, because then people ask me questions about, hey, I got to go to small claims court. And I'm like, I did commercial mortgage-backed securities. I wouldn't know about small claims court, right? So I don't put out there information about being a lawyer. I put out the information I want to be found for. And I do that consistently. It's really boring. It's kind of like sit-ups. Sorry, some of this networking stuff, seriously. It's not worrying about how you make small talk. It's like, oh God, this is sit-ups. How do I keep doing it? But that's what produces the results. So I consistently put out the information and the insights I want to be found or known for, and that's what you put out there. Listen, all of us have got stuff going on in our lives that we shouldn't share. Like, how many people have, people on their Facebook feed are putting, crap, and you're like, oh, really? I'm glad you're having another bad day. I'm sorry. Praise be to Jesus. I don't want to see it. You got an LOL in my LinkedIn stream, I'm muting you. I don't want to see it there. So you decide what you want to share, and you decide where we want to share it. But we also need to understand Like I make that reaction. For somebody else, it's their communication preference. And all of this is you need to decide how you want to engage and what you want to be known, found, and for within your own communities. And if you don't want your mother to find it, don't post it anywhere. Or if you're lucky like me, you have parents who aren't on the internet. And that, my friends, I have to tell you, is a major upside in life. I am sorry for the rest of you. Your parents are on social media. Mine are not, thank God. All right, how are we doing? I know we're out of time, but are we allowed to have another question? And then I will be answering questions endlessly, because I can do that.
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm a fourth-year communication student. Every time I go to a networking event, I feel like because I'm a student and I'm always like asking other people to give me jobs and stuff like that. And there's like this whole moment of panic of every time I send my resume to someone being like, hey, please. And I feel like I'm just putting myself out there and not offering anything. Do you have any advice to get over that leap, I guess?
Yeah. So two things. One is I will point out, because it's another spectacular case study, so for those of you who are looking for jobs and you're having to send out cover letters and cold email and ask people for jobs, Jessica Peltz, who is a VC at KBS Ventures in New York City and a great friend, her case study in the book when she had to go and look for a job during a downturn, and how she researched and did very focused cover letters and could show people, she was looking for a job on Madison Avenue, and how she tracked information both showing industry knowledge and the need for someone to hire and staff up when client brand opportunities switched, is a really fantastic case study in terms of thinking about, all right, I have to ask someone or cold email or show someone that I'm the one they can hire. Her case study is absolutely spectacular in that regard. With respect to networking and generosity, I think we have to give equivalent as in the same thing. And you don't need to do that. There is obviously a power imbalance. You're looking for a job, somebody else has a job, or you're looking for a job and someone else has a connection to make that introduction. Your job, in terms of someone who is networking in those situations, in terms of being that good networker and networking generosity, is to be, this is going to be a shocker, a decent human being. And what does a decent human being do? They're considerate of the time and the reputation of the other person. They are considerate of somebody else putting themselves on the line to help you get where you're going. And how you show your gratitude and how you show your consideration is really, really simple. You're thankful. You follow up. And not just the follow-up that says, hey, thanks for making the introduction. You let them know what happened when you had the meeting. You let them